Section D covers domestic servants. Your home, plus the items you have in your house, are probably your best investment. Just imagine what would happen if they were destroyed by any risk and you lose everything. A domestic package policy provides cover to individuals, both homeowners and tenants, against risk. Hello and welcome to today's topic. We have an interesting tip at the end of this video. Subscribe and stay tuned. Domestic package policy, or homeowner's policy as it may be referred to in some instances, is a type of all risks insurance policy which covers a residential house and its contents against losses arising from various risks such as fire. Section A, buildings. Section B, household. Section D, work injury benefits. Sections E and F, occupiers or owner's liability. Let us look at what is covered in each section. Section A, buildings. This section covers buildings, that is, the main house and other surrounding houses such as servant quarters and gatehouse, perimeter fence, pools, damage of building.
Welcome to Oro Academy, and welcome to this presentation on highlight of IFRS 1, first-time adoption of IFRS. This standard aims to ensure that a company's first IFRS financial statements and interim reports are of high quality, transparent, and comparable. IFRS 1 also provides a foundation for future IFRS reporting, helping organizations at a cost that balances with benefits of enhanced transparency and comparability. The standard guides companies on how to follow a specific sequence when applying IFRS for the first time. It also covers the steps for restating balances from previous GAAP to IFRS, presenting comparative information, and the necessary disclosures to show the effect of adopting IFRS for the first time. IFRS 1 can be challenging for organizations transitioning from local GAAP to IFRS. Some of the main challenges include implementing full retrospective application, handling mandatory and voluntary exemptions, and deciding when to apply. Management faces decisions with very. which often become apparent only at the end of the adoption process when reports are presented. In the end, we will help you understand how to overcome these challenges. Let's dissect each of the challenges IFRS first-time adopters face as they make the challenging shift from their previous GAAP reporting framework to reporting using international financial reporting standards. One major challenge is the requirement for full retrospective application. This, all IFRS standards ineffectively, with some minimal exemptions, assets, and liabilities. Identifying differences between previous accounting standards and IFRS is essential and often costly, requiring the expertise of valuation professionals. Retrospective application of IFRS can often be challenging due to costs, time requirements, and data limitations. Fortunately, IFRS 1 offers exemptions to ease this process, such as using previous GAAP estimates or choosing not to restate past business combinations. These exemptions can be either mandatory or optional, providing first-time adopters flexibility in their transition. Understanding which exemptions apply can be tricky, as misapplication can result in financial misstatement. In our Aero Academy online trainings, we discuss such exemptions in detail and with practical examples. For instance, IFRS 1 requires that mandatory exemption for estimates under IFRS to match those made under previous GAAP unless objective evidence indicates that the estimates were incorrect. The reason for making the exception on estimates mandatory is to bar adopters from using the benefit of hindsight. On the other hand, voluntary exemptions like the option to avoid restating past business combinations. Join us in our training to elaborate on such complexities. To weigh the options, determining the best approach for decision makers to consider factors including availability of historical data and the impact of each exemption on their financial position. IFRS 1 is the option to use fair value as deemed cost. Companies can choose to use the fair value of certain assets as a substitute for cost or depreciated cost at the transition date. This option offers both opportunities and challenges. On the one hand, it simplifies reporting and allows companies to use fair value as a surrogate for historical cost. However, it also involves complex asset valuations and requires professional expertise, which can increase both time and cost. Furthermore, decisions made today can have significant impacts on future depreciation and impairment calculations. Opportunities and challenges further, we encourage you to attend our IFRS 13 training. One critical aspect of adopting IFRS is reconciling equity and total comprehensive income between GAAP and the opening balance sheet and subsequent financial periods. The standard requires a first-time adopter to reconcile their previous GAAP financial statements with IFRS, starting with the opening balance sheet and continuing through future reporting periods. The reconciliation must be disclosed, adding complexity as it requires a detailed understanding of both IFRS and the previous GAAP. The challenge lies in identifying all the subsequent periods presented in the first financial statements under IFRS. Deferred taxes under IFRS 1 are challenging. Changes in asset and liability values, especially from the use of fair value as deemed cost or retrospective adjustments, can have significant tax consequences. Calculating deferred taxes based on these new valuations can lead to complex and unexpected tax impacts. IFRS 1 presents several challenges, from full retrospective application to navigating exemptions and managing deferred taxes. Understanding these complexities is the first step towards a smoother transition. With the guidance of IFRS experts at the Aero Academy, you can effectively overcome these hurdles and ensure a successful adoption. Led webinars and interactive workshops tailored to help you navigate these changes effectively. Register to train with us and subscribe on all our social media platforms to get more insights into IFRS implementation support.
Section B. Contents. This section covers household contents like furniture, beddings, cutleries, curtains, etc. Risks covered here include fire, earthquake, flooding, damage from impact, burglary, break-in, items falling and getting damaged, etc. What you can claim from this section: damage or theft of insured house contents damaged or stolen while inside the house. The policy will pay for the replacement of the Section C. All risks. This section is dedicated to covering items that are movable from the house, like laptops, cell phones, clothes, etc. What you can claim from this section: damage or theft of any insured content. The policy will pay for the replacement of the damaged items via check or EFT. Section D, Domestic Servants Injury Cover. This section covers domestic servants against accidental injuries while in your employment. Benefits here are derived from work injury domestic servant. This section covers you when your servant holds you liable in a court of law for injuries while working for you. Section F, Owners or Occupiers Liability Cover. This section protects you, as the homeowner or tenant, against legal costs that you may incur in case any member of the public gets injured while in your house, or any item from your house injures the public or damages their property, including injuries from pets if the policy has a strict liability clause. How to purchase a good domestic package policy. List all the items you want to have insured and their prices. Note to also indicate how many servants you have. Once you give the list to your insurance company or intermediary, they will give you a quotation of how much premium you will be required to pay for the cover. When you receive the quotation, look out for the following. 1. Premium. Premium should be reasonable. The domestic package is relatively low risk cover, especially on buildings and the contents section. 2. Excesses. The excess applicable should be relatively low so that the cover is, especially when covering low-valued items. Ideal excesses to be applied to the domestic package are: nil excess for buildings, excess of up to 10% of item value for contents and all risk sections. Some policies will also have an excess specifically for cell phones and laptops. This is because their risks are relatively higher. Three, owners. As stated previously, this section protects against legal liability due to injuries caused to the public. A good policy is one that gives higher limits of liability. Most of domestic package policies offer free limit up to 2 million shillings. There are other policies that will give you free limits up to 5 million shillings. Limits under this section can be enhanced at an additional premium. Domestic package policy schedule. When you purchase a document, the schedule of your document should look like this, or it at least contain all items as listed here.
Say chief.
No. Say Zeiss.
Claims processes and procedures under domestic package policy. Claims process when claiming for damaged property. Report to your insurance company or broker. Fill in the claim form and provide required documents together with the salvage. Sign the discharge voucher and send to insurer to get paid. Claims process when claiming for stolen property under burglary or theft. police, obtain a police abstract, and then report the claim to your insurance company or broker. Fill in the claim form and provide required documents. Sign the discharge voucher provided and send to insurer to get paid. Points worth noting under this policy. Point number 1. All theft claims must be accompanied by a police abstract. Point number 2. Damage claims must be accompanied by photos of the damaged house or salvage in cases where one is claiming for phones, laptops, TVs, etc. Point number 3. The sum insured must be the current market value or current replacement cost less reasonable deduction for wear and tear and age. Point number 4. Under the policy, no single article is deemed to be worth more than 5% of the total sum insured unless such article is specifically insured. Point number 5. It is advisable to submit a list of all the items insured under the contents and all risk section, including their values. Point number 6. The total value of all jewelry and valuables will be deemed not to exceed 1/3 of the total sum insured unless the value of jewelry and valuables is separately declared. Point number 7. The cover under the contents section ceases if the building is left unoccupied for more than 7 consecutive days. You should advise the insurance company prior to leaving the house for longer than 7 days in order to have the cover extended to cover unoccupancy risks. Some of the basic excluded risks under this policy are war, civil commotion, wear and tear, depreciation, damage due to moth, damage by process of repairing, restoring, or renovating. We have come to the end of this video. I hope that it has given you some insights onto a domestic package policy. Let us know your experience in the comment section below. Would you like us to arrange for you a domestic package or any other insurance policy? If so, please contact us via email or telephone number given in the description. Don't forget to subscribe.
Kila safari huanza na ndoto. Ndoto za kufanikiwa maishani, ndoto za kufanikiwa kibiashara, ndoto za kufanikiwa kimaendeleo. For 4 decades, we have been your trusted partner, witnessing the achievements of each generation. As we celebrate 40 years, our promise is to be with you for life. Tufanikishe zaidi.
Guys! I'm here with my friend Sam. Sam, please introduce yourself for my people here on Instagram.
All right, hi. My name is Samuel Mogeke. I work with APA Insurance in the medical section.
Okay.
I head the individual business, family business.
You've heard him say he works in the medical department, which is what we're doing here today. A couple of days ago, I asked you guys to send in any questions you might have for APA Insurance. Thank you for everybody who responded. Those questions were so many, so good, so good that APA was able to host me today so we can answer them in depth. Sam, what exactly is insurance?
Right, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Now, insurance is a financial service that is based on a desire to fulfill uncertainties, financial uncertainties. Now, one of the things insurance demands is that, one, you have a financial interest in that thing, which if you lose it, we are able to measure what you lost, how much it was, and that it was yours. You have a financial interest, you bought it, right? Then plus that, we are able, one, to get a value.
Yeah.
So if you lose it, we can pay you back.
Okay.
So insurance basically is around the financial uncertainties. We use a particular word called indemnity, which means taking you back to where you were before the loss.
Yeah.
So one, there has to be a loss.
Yeah.
Then we want to take you back there just before the loss,
Okay.
financially.
Okay.
So if it's your car, how much was it worth? What was the value of that car before the loss? So that we are able to take you back.
You're talking about tangible things. What
Yes.
value do you put on my life or on my health?
That's a very good question. Now, when we come to medical insurance, what is the indemnity? What is it you're losing that we are able to take you back? So when we come to health,
Okay.
what we're looking at is the financial loss, as it were, the money you spent to get yourself back to good health. So insurance comes in and says,
Yeah.
I am going to do this.
Yeah.
Your problem is uncertainty.
Yeah.
Sell me that uncertainty
Yeah.
at a premium.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to pay me a premium,
Yeah.
and I'm going to take up that discomfort. Let me help you manage that. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Let me give you peace of mind
Yeah.
that should you fall sick, should you need to see a doctor, I will pay your bills. So what you do then, I give you a promise.
A premium
I want to call it
for a promise.
Yes. And this
That's it.
promise, we put a value to it.
Yeah.
You're buying 10 million,
Yeah.
5 million,
Yeah.
2 million.
Yeah.
I'm promising that when you get sick, if you get sick, I'll pay your bills to this limit, the limit you bought. You have uncertainties,
Yeah.
financial obligations,
Yeah.
how to measure them.
Yeah.
Then I sell you a promise that has a value on it, and I tell you, I will pay your bills should you get sick to these limits.
Wow.
Yeah.
So someone first time to get insurance
Now,
now, or yesterday, or 10, I like to say 10 years ago.
well, true, 10 years ago.
Yeah. What exactly do you cover under your health insurance?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Does
yes.
it health
So
cover?
first,
Yes.
what do we?
Yeah.
Our main cover
Yes.
is inpatient.
Okay.
Inpatient means
Yes.
admission. Now, an accident, not necessarily a road traffic accident,
Yeah.
they will tend to lead to an admission.
Yeah.
See that?
Yeah.
So, and then the costs involved are higher. So when you look at an individual, some may say, you know what, I can pay for my outpatient. Yeah, they're not that expensive. I mean, it's maybe 500 here, 1,000 there. I can manage that. But inpatient can take you down.
Yeah.
You know, so there's inpatient,
Yeah.
and then outpatient.
Yeah.
So once you buy inpatient, let me be very clear.
Yes.
Once doesn't mean you come back after 3 months. As you're making your decision, you're first buying inpatient. To inpatient, you add outpatient. All right. So because you're going to buy it at the same time, yeah, it's one policy starting at the same time. So inpatient, outpatient. Now on outpatient, dental and optical are riders to outpatient. What that means is you cannot buy dental optical with inpatient. Maternity stands on its own, so you can buy inpatient
All right.
and maternity.
All right.
You don't have to have outpatient.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
But you can't buy in maternity dental optical.
Noted.
See that? So it's
Noted.
in outpatient dental optical with maternity, or in and maternity. All right.
And just to clarify for the ladies here, you cannot also buy your maternity cover when you're pregnant. That's not the time to get it. Will you be able to give it to me? You can.
I can.
You won't cover that
Yes,
child.
yes, yes. So the idea is, again, it's an issue of planning.
Yeah.
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 So you're like, let's put it this way: our maternity cover, just like a number of other things we look at, has a waiting period.
Yes.
That means if you buy today,
Yeah.
it has a 12 months waiting period.
Yeah.
That basically means the first year, if you deliver, you will have to pay. Not from this policy, maybe another policy,
Yeah.
but this one will not respond.
Yeah.
So it's from year 2.
All right.
Yeah. So the idea is buy early. So if
Yeah.
you buy your policy today, you'll have to wait 30 days before you can use it,
What's
even
an
for a
acute
cough or
condition?
for
Oh, okay,
malaria.
okay, okay.
You will not pay.
Okay.
90 days
Yeah.
for surgical conditions.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
So the policy will have to run
All right.
for 90 days
All right.
before we pay for a surgical condition.
All right.
That's year one.
Okay.
So what is going to year two
Yes.
are the pre-existing,
Yes,
the chronic
congenital.
conditions, congenital
Okay.
and all that. Yes.
Sam, someone has asked, do you cover Kenyans in the diaspora?
Yes and no.
Yeah.
Well, one, our medical cover
Yeah.
is the legal jurisdiction of the cover
Yeah.
is Kenya. So there is a period to which we can extend our cover.
Okay.
So, for example, if you're traveling outside the country,
Yeah.
we can cover you up to 6 weeks in a year.
And this isn't me getting travel insurance.
This is not, yeah,
still my
yeah.
medical insurance.
But you traveling and coming back.
Yeah.
Diaspora, because you're living there,
Yeah.
it's no.
Yeah.
You're there longer,
Yeah.
and therefore this policy will work for you.
Okay.
Yeah, and again, we're looking at the costs of treatment are different.
Yeah.
The policy has been constructed with the background of Kenya.
Yeah.
So out there, the dollar, the Kenya shilling
Yeah.
values are different.
Yeah.
So we can only cover you when you're traveling for a short period.
Yeah.
But if you're living there, then you are better advised to
Yeah.
buy a local cover there.
Okay.
Now we have people in the diaspora.
Yeah.
My yes, where I said yes.
Yes.
Buying cover for their people here.
Yeah. A couple of people have asked, do you cover gym memberships?
Not right now.
Yeah.
It's where we are planning to go.
Okay. How about me as a lady?
Yes.
I'm about to turn 40 and some things are sagging.
Mhm.
And I need them to be packed up. Do you cover cosmetic surgery?
Man, we like you, Sadi.
Ah! What are you saying?
You know what?
You don't cover cosmetic surgery?
We don't cover
I can go get a boob job and pay with my insurance cover?
You know the funny
Can
thing
I
with
get a
that?
tummy tuck?
You can.
Yeah.
Nobody said you can.
But
But insurance won't take care of it.
if you will take care of it, generally,
Insurance
does not
won't.
cover
Let me
cosmetic
tell you what we
surgery.
cover under cosmetic.
Yeah.
If it's
Yeah.
now, let's say the situation, the condition that needs to be addressed, right? If it's as a result
Okay.
of an accident,
Okay.
you see that?
All right.
The accident is
facial
covered.
reconstruction,
Yes, yes.
skin graft.
Yes.
Okay. You had talked about dental. So I'm guessing if my dentist tells me I need braces, you will cover that for me because you guys know braces are very expensive.
Yes.
Good.
Now, do
Oh.
we cover that?
Do you?
We cover if it's an accident.
Wow.
Yes.
Mental health is a very important thing nowadays. Do you cover sessions with therapists or psychologists? Do you cover that?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
It
It's within inpatient,
Ooh.
and it could also be on the outpatient.
Okay.
All right.
Can students get a personal cover? If so, what is the age limit for a student? Isn't it is that an age limit?
Under corporate covers,
Yeah.
there is a maximum.
Yeah.
Like let's say you're a dependent
Yeah.
up to 18 years,
Okay.
and then ideally you should fall off.
Okay.
And then within corporate covers, we extend it to 25 years
Okay.
with proof of schooling.
With proof of schooling.
Yes.
Okay.
So there's got to be active schooling.
Okay.
On family covers,
Yes.
we don't use the same measure.
Yeah.
What we've done, our age limit for children, so to speak, is up to 20. All right. So after 20, they need to buy their own cover.
I'm here to get insurance and I don't have NHIF. You won't chase me away.
We will sell you this, but we will not pay what NHIF
It's
would
supposed
have
to
paid.
be. All right.
So
Understood.
it's recommended that, depending on the numbers,
Yeah.
if the numbers are not that high,
Yeah.
then each one of them will have to buy a Jamii Plus cover,
Mhm.
like on a personal level,
Mhm.
and then the Chama will pay.
Mm-hmm.
But if they want to buy under the Chama umbrella, then of course there's the registration documents and all that, and then we'll give them a quotation depending on the numbers.
So only to register chamas. And
Yes.
then registered chama will not
No,
be able
just
to
buy
benefit.
that.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you cover hormone profiling and subsequent treatment? If a woman is not able to have a child and she decides to go for IVF treatment, does insurance cover IVF treatment?
No,
Wow.
we don't.
Yeah.
So even what you said, hormone profiling and all that,
Yeah.
it won't be covered.
Okay.
Yeah. Because again, illness, accident.
Wow.
Yeah. And
If by accident
if by accident,
I can't have babies.
well, I appreciate what you're saying. If you get involved in an accident and
My
your
uterus
uterus
is messed up.
well, we will pay for the costs of
Of
treating
the
you.
treatment, but in terms
Yeah,
of now
in terms
that
of getting a baby. Yeah,
I've tried, guys. I've tried. Ladies, I've tried. That means birth control. You don't cover that.
yeah, you know.
That's for you to cover birth control. What does APA do in terms of COVID and even maybe future pandemics and this type of stuff?
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, we don't cover self-quarantine.
Okay.
All right. Now, there are, as you say, testing.
Yes.
Somebody may be like, no, I'm feeling funny. Maybe something happened. I need
Yes.
to check and all that.
Yeah.
We also do not cover testing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if there is a treatment required, like somebody's in a state where they need to be treated, because the other thing that has been understood, especially where you're having underlying conditions like pre-existing chronic conditions, then and things can get really bad.
Exactly.
So you find that someone who already had a condition, because of this exposure, requires treatment. So we cover treatment.
All right.
So if somebody is admitted in hospital for COVID-19 and there is need for treatment, the policy pays.
So my final question, where does insurance come in terms of covering a funeral, even just the funeral?
Okay.
Where does insurance come in? Not this guy has died in hospital, then you guys have taken care of that bill. But the guy has died, yes. Do you guys help with funeral expenses?
Right. One,
Yeah.
when you buy the Jamie Plus
Yeah.
cover,
Yeah.
within Jamie Plus,
Yes.
we have provision for funeral.
Yes.
There's a limit that is paid out. The only thing I may have to bring up is that it is pegged on there being a balance on your inpatient should this person pass on.
Okay.
Remember, your limit, for example, is 500,000, or
Yes.
that person's limit is 500,000.
Yes.
And they're admitted in hospital.
Yeah.
So if they pass on and there is a balance before they exhaust the patient,
Yeah.
then we will pay out
Okay.
to the tune of what we have promised. And
Okay.
that. But if the limit has run out, then there wouldn't be. Now, let me also add this.
Mm.
In the Apollo group, we do have funeral covers. You can buy funeral cover from APA Life. We have a product for that, Pumzisha, which is ideally designed to take care of the last expense benefits. Yeah. So in the medical section, we are not selling that currently.
Okay.
But in our life section,
Okay.
we do have a Pumzisha cover, which is tailored towards that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Wow. Hey guys, lot of insurance. I have learned so much. I have learned so much, Sam. Thank you so much for taking time out of our work day. These guys are in the offices working. You need to respect some of this. Thank you so much for taking time out of your work day to educate myself and my people on insurance. Guys, I'll leave the link in my bio for you to access their Jamii Plus cover. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments. Until next time, bye.
Thank you.
What does a day in Dubai look like? Well, you can start with some golf. Do a spot of shopping. Get some culture in. Do something really cool. Then grab dinner with your friends all in one day.
Hello members and fans. Welcome to my channel and thank you for subscribing and watching my videos. In my earlier post, Risk and Insurance, I promised that I will be looking at personal insurance policies one by one so that we all together help educate each other and understand these policies. It is that time now, and the first policy I will be reviewing is motor vehicle insurance, which we will discuss conclusively in 4 episodes. 1. Different types of motor insurance policies and what they cover. 2. What to consider when buying motor insurance. 3. Claims handling procedures. 4. FAQs. Part A. Different types of motor insurance policies. Motor insurance is the largest class of insurance by numbers, and this is contributed by many factors, among them laws making minimum motor insurance coverage mandatory in most countries, and the fact that motor is considered among prestigious investments. There are different types of motor insurance such as motor private for private and personal use. Motor commercial, own goods for use of to carry insured's goods only. Motor commercial, general cartage for usage in the business of transporting goods for hire and reward. Motor commercial, taxi for taxi business. Motor commercial, PSV for PSV business. Yellow card insurance, which extends coverage outside the Kenyan jurisdiction. Motorcycle insurance policy. What determines the type of insurance one purchases? The type of insurance cover to be purchased is determined by two things: tax classification and use of the vehicle. The first determinant is vehicle tax classification. Tax classification is determined by the government, and it is always indicated in the motor vehicle logbook as either private or commercial. The government, through its agencies, can reclassify any type of motor vehicle to any class. Once this is done, insurance policies will have to be reissued to comply with the reclassification. About 5 years ago, the Kenya government reclassified double cabin pickups from commercial to private use. The second determinant of what cover you should buy is the use of the vehicle. Policies have different risk exposures and are rated differently based on the owner's declaration of use. Therefore, an insurance policy declared to cover one use, like for carrying own goods, cannot cover use for the other use, say carrying and reward, also known as general cartage. In the same way, you are not allowed by your insurance policy to use your private car with private insurance to conduct taxi business or Uber. If you declare one use, then use the vehicle for a different purpose other than the declared one, the policy will not respond when a claim arises. Scope of motor insurance policies. The scope of an insurance cover simply refers to what risks are covered in a certain policy. There are three most common scopes of motor insurance covers, namely: the first cover scope is third-party insurance cover, TPO. This cover only compensates other road users and other third parties in case of an accident. This cover is the cheapest, but it does not afford any benefits to the owner of the motor vehicle. The second scope is third-party fire and theft, which compensates what is covered under the TPO cover explained above, as well as pay the vehicle in cases where it is stolen or burnt. It does not cover vehicle damages resulting from accidents. This cover is not common. The third and most common one is comprehensive cover, compensates third parties under TPO cover, fire, and theft, as well as extends to cover the damage to the car following an accident. Now that we have discussed what motor insurance is and gone through different types as well as the various scopes of coverage, let's talk about what you need to know while considering purchasing an insurance policy in part 2, in our next video. Let me know what I have left out or ask any questions in the comments below, and we will discuss them under FAQs. Meanwhile, subscribe, watch, comment, share, like, and comment.
How do I check if my digital motor insurance certificate is valid? In 2019, Kenya's insurance industry launched the issuance of digital motor vehicle insurance certificates, phasing the old physical certificates which were printed and delivered manually. The digital certificate system is meant to make the process of receiving the certificate instant and convenient, since it is sent to the policyholder digitally on their most convenient communication device via email or even WhatsApp. These digital certificates are sent to the policyholder in PDF format for one to print for themselves. However, it is very important to verify the certificate to ensure it is valid. To verify your digital motor insurance certificate, the first thing you need to do is download and install the Aki Virtual Motor Insurance Certificate Verification app from Google Play Store for Android smartphones or the iOS App Store if you're using an iPhone. Upon installation, open the app and register to make it operational. Verification process. Option 1, QR code scan. 1. Launch the app on your phone. 2. On the pop-up menu, select Verify Certificate, Motor Insurance. 3. The next page opens a camera scanner. Scan the QR code that appears on top of your certificate. 4. In the next pop-up window, key in your vehicle's registration number and tap Verify to receive the results. Option 2, Manual Verification. 1. Launch the app on your phone. 2. On the pop-up menu, select Verify Certificate manually. 3. On the next page, select Reason for Verification, then key in the certificate number and registration or chassis number. 4. Then tap Verify to receive the results. Note, status of your certificate will be displayed as either genuine, invalid, canceled, or expired. How do I check if my digital motor insurance certificate is valid? In 2019, Kenya's insurance industry launched the issuance of digital motor vehicle insurance certificates, phasing the old physical certificates which were printed and delivered manually. The digital certificate system is meant to make the process of receiving the certificate instant and convenient, since it is sent to the policyholder digitally on their most convenient communication device via email or even WhatsApp. These digital certificates are sent to the policyholder in PDF format for one to print for themselves. However, it is very important to verify the certificate to ensure it is valid. To verify your digital motor insurance certificate, the first thing you need to do is download and install the Aki Virtual Motor Insurance Certificate Verification app from Google Play Store for Android smartphones or the iOS App Store if you're using an iPhone. Upon installation, open the app and register to make it operational. Verification process. Option 1, QR code scan. 1. Launch the app on your phone. 2. On the pop-up menu, select Verify Certificate, Motor Insurance. 3. The next page opens a camera scanner. Scan the QR code that appears on top of your certificate. 4. In the next pop-up window, key in your vehicle's registration number and tap Verify to receive the results. Option 2, Manual Verification. 1. Launch the app on your phone. 2. On the pop-up menu, select Verify Certificate manually. 3. On the next page, select Reason for Verification, then key in the certificate number and registration or chassis number. 4. Then tap Verify to receive the results. Note, status of your certificate will be displayed as either genuine, invalid, canceled, or expired. What is an agreed value clause in motor insurance? A clause that ensures that the sum insured or the value of the property declared at the time of purchasing insurance cover will remain valid up to the end of the policy period. This is important in motor vehicle and property insurance policies where the insured property is prone to depreciation, such as motor vehicles, machinery, computers, TVs, etc. It helps you, as the policyholder, know how much you will get paid by the insurance company in case of a loss from the beginning of a cover. The opposite of this clause is the market value clause, which provides that a policy will compensate for loss of an item based on the market value at the time of loss, which in most cases is less than the insured amount because of the depreciation element. Subscribe, click the notification bell, and let's meet again in the next video soon. Feel
Hello viewers, I trust you have been doing well so far. Today, let's delve into religion and talk about insurance in the Bible. What does the Bible say about insurance? There are different schools of thought when it comes to Christianity, what it means, what the Bible says about life, relationships, and death. There are those who give prominence to the Old Testament dictates while others favor New Testament teachings. Even in Kenya, there are some churches which teaches their congregants to trust in God on everything and shun science. We have seen cases where a family prays for a sick child as opposed to seeking medical treatment. In this chapter, we will not try to say which belief is superior or what people should do, but rather look at the Bible as a whole and what it says about protection of life, saving for the future, and protecting wealth. We want to add that this is not a theological teaching but rather an observation and an opinion that help explain our subject. The interpretation of the verses is just for illustration purposes and not rooted in theological studies. However, we strongly feel that they are accurate or not far from it. We have come across these statements when asking people to purchase insurance covers for various risks. 1. I haven't read anywhere in the Bible where God practiced insurance. 2. God is my insurer. 3. I am covered by the blood of Jesus, referring to 1 Peter chapter 1 verses 18 to 19. 4. God will take care of everything. 5. It all God's plan, if he so wishes, as human beings cannot alter the course of action. 6. My belief will heal me. 7. God will provide. 8. It's all vanity, referring to Ecclesiastes chapter 1 verse 2. Before we begin, I, as the writer would wish to state my belief. I am a Christian and I believe in the Almighty God. I have seen the hand of God in various situations in my life, the whole of it, up to date. And it is that belief that carries me into the future. I also believe that the Bible exists as guide from God, and it tells God as well as right from wrong. The text may refer to an ancient way of life and biblical times, but teachings are relevant for any season. We are in the era of financial management and financial literacy, and we ought to apply those teachings to our everyday life, giving them relevance with our times. It is with this belief that we have looked at Bible verses, what it said then, and how we can use them to emphasize life planning within our times, insurance being our main focus. Let's look at some of the biblical answers to number 1 and number 2 statements above. Statement number 1. I haven't read anywhere in the Bible where God practiced insurance. In the Bible, Joel chapter 2 verse 25 states, I will restore to you the years that the swarming locust has eaten, the hopper, the destroyer, and the cutter, the great army sent among you. 1 Peter chapter 5 verse and the God of all grace, who called you to his eternal glory in Christ, after you have suffered a little while, will himself restore you and make you strong, firm, and steadfast. In the above illustrations, God talks about restoration, which is like insurance. Various summons by theologians defines restoration as returning one to the original state they were in, thus ensuring continued fullness and richness to life. When one suffers a misfortune such as illness, accidents, or loss of property, the life is envisioned by them is disrupted. When insurance comes in and returns them back to their original position as it were before the loss, accident, or illness, they are restored. Compensation equals restoration in the literal text as well as in deductive understanding. Statement number 2, God is my insurer. Proverbs chapter 22 verse 3 in New Living Translation. A prudent person foresees danger and takes precautions. The simpleton goes blindly on and suffers the consequences. There are many versions of the Bible with different translation text for this verse. However, from all of them, 3 things stand out. To foresee, which in other versions are referred to as see or being far-sighted. Danger, also referred to as trouble or evil. Precautions, which in other translations are written as to hide or protect or take refuge. Danger is definitely coming, please take refuge or protect yourself or take precautions. As much as the text may refer to physical harm, danger also refer to damage to one's property. The practicality of hiding from every danger diminishes with the frequency, and one time or another harm will beget you or your property. For physical harm or death, medical insurance, accident insurance, or life assurance is a form of protection. Property insurance cover damage to properties. The Bible guides that we plan well so that when something dangerous happens, your life is not interrupted. Insurance is a better way for such planning, but as Christians, we know we are supposed to live and act differently than the rest of the world. Many argue that every action bringing about a loss was set up in motion by God, thus trying to put in place a measure of protection is like not trusting God. Or another school of thought, any danger is a trial by God to see whether one believes in his power to provide or rescue us from any situation. All these may be true, but the Bible also tells us it is evil to tempt God. Remember what Jesus said when Satan told him to jump off a cliff so that God can rescue him. In the end, we believe that all our resources belong to God, not us. Therefore, the resources that are in the control of an insurance company are still God's, which means we are held accountable for how they are spent on us just as much as if the funds came out of our own savings account. God's greatest gift to mankind is the power of choice, but he takes away the power to determine the outcome of the choice you have made. This is well exemplified by an old adage of a town dweller who wanted to end his life and chose jumping off a building. He went up the building and stood at the edge contemplating the 2 choices he had, to jump or not. He eventually chose the former, but while midair, he deeply regretted his choice. However, having made the choice, he was not in control of the outcome of his choice. In the same way, we are given the power to choose to insure or not. You choose, someone or something else determine the outcome of your choice. Let's end this video here. Watch our for a continuation of this topic next Sunday. See you then. If you like this video, you will love these too. In this video, we will guide you step by step on how to report and document your claim to ensure it is settled to your satisfaction. Getting involved in a motor accident or losing a car through theft can be traumatizing, and for some, it is likely to even lead to depression. Claims documentation and processing is tedious and laborious. Dealing with the police and third parties is a horror. This is our third video on the motor vehicle insurance series. Today, we are looking at claims procedures under motor insurance. Towards the end of this video, I will give you a tip about motor accident claims to live by. It will save you a whole lot. Under motor vehicle insurance, there are many risks that may give rise to a loss resulting into a claim. The proximate cause and the type of the loss will determine procedures to be followed when a claim arises. Some of the circumstances giving rise to a motor vehicle claims are accidental collision with other vehicles, self-involving accident where no other vehicle is involved, hit a tree, landed in a ditch, or overturned, or any other type of accident where there is no other car involved, total theft of the motor vehicle, fire damage to the vehicle through self-ignition, arson, or general fire, for example where a house was burning and the fire extends to the vehicle. Motor claims damage to windscreen or rear window and window glasses. Motor claims theft of or damage to side mirrors. Motor claims third-party liabilities. The first thing to do when in an accident, whether minor or major where you are not injured, is to remain calm and composed. Secondly, secure your vehicle, as it is at this point that roadside observers also take advantage to steal personal belongings or even vehicle parts. Report and have the police investigate the accident scene and issue a police abstract report. Claims documentation and settlement procedures. Number 1. Motor accidents, both collisions and self-involving accidents. Report the accident to your insurer either directly if you are dealing directly with the insurer, or through your intermediary if the cover was arranged through a broker or agent. Complete a claim form accurately as possible and hand it over to the insurance company together with the police abstract report and a copy of driver's license. Take your vehicle to the garage for assessment and repair authorizations. Please note that insurance companies will have panel of garages they are working with. A copy of this panel will be provided to you to enable you select your preferred garage. Your insurer or intermediary can also offer guidance on a suitable garage. After you have taken the vehicle to the garage, insurers will assess the damage to the vehicle and authorize repairs. For private vehicles, you will get a courtesy car after the repairs have been authorized if your policy has the courtesy car extension. As the car is under repairs, the excess bit will come into play. Remember the excess definition we covered in our last video. Well, if you are not at fault in cases of collision accidents, no blame no excess clause will save you from paying the excess. If you are at fault or the accident was self-involving, then you will be required to pay the excess from your pocket or claim it from the excess protector policy, that is if your policy has that extension. After repairs, your vehicle will be released to you. Please note to carry out road tests and check the repairs thoroughly before signing the discharge form and driving away from the garage. In cases where it is uneconomical to repair the vehicle, it will be declared as a total loss or written off. Your insurer will give an offer and a discharge voucher to be executed by you and return to them together with a host of documents and items which will be listed in the offer letter, after which the claim will be paid. Please note the following. 1. Investigations may be carried out to weed out fraudulent claims in cases where a policyholder knowingly causes the accident in order to gain from the insurer's compensation. 2. When a vehicle is written off, the salvage belongs to the insurer, and they will collect it before you get your compensation. The second type of motor claims is motor theft. Theft of motor vehicle can happen when the car is parked at home or in any public parking, and even by thieves commandeering the driver and stealing the car in his or her control. When this happens, just as in the same case with the accident, report the matter to the police immediately or as soon as possible. In cases where you were kidnapped or injured and you are not able to report immediately, obtain a police abstract report, then report to your insurer or intermediary. Complete a claim form and forward it to the insurer together with police abstract report and a copy of driver's license. Your insurer will carry out an investigations to ascertain some facts as well as work with the police in trying to trace the stolen vehicle as the investigation report is being prepared. Once the investigations have been finalized, insurers will make an offer and issue discharge voucher for you to execute and return together with a host of documentations and items which will be listed in the offer letter, after which the claim will be paid. Please note the following. 1. Investigations are carried out to weed out fraudulent claims in cases where a policyholder may organize for disappearance of the car to gain from the insurer. 2. After you are paid, the car belongs to the insurer and if found, should be taken to them. Number 3. Fire damage claims. When your car burns down either as a result of self-ignition or arson by third party or generally fire spreading from other sources, you are eligible to claim and get compensation. As it is with other claims mentioned before, report the matter to the police immediately or as soon as possible in cases where there are injuries that makes you not able to report immediately. Complete a claim form and forward it to the insurer together with police abstract report and a copy of driver's license. Your insurer will carry out an investigations to ascertain the cause of that fire and prepare a report. Once the investigations have been finalized, insurers will make an offer and issue discharge voucher for you to execute and return together with a host of documentations which will be listed in the offer letter after which the claim will be paid. Please note the following. 1. Investigations are carried out to weed out fraudulent claims in cases where a policyholder starts a fire in order to gain from the insurer's compensation. 2. The salvage belongs to the insurer and they will collect it before you get your compensation. Number 4. Third-party liability claims. Third-party claims arises in cases where your car hits another person, or another person's car, or any other property including houses, fences, etc., and where a passenger was injured while traveling in your car. Third parties can, and in most cases will sue you as the owner of the car for damages arising from injuries, death, or your car having damaged their property. The start of these legal cases is when you receive a demand letter from their lawyer. When this happens, do not respond to the letter but instead, forward it to the insurer for immediate action. Insurers will acknowledge it and appoint a lawyer to handle the matter on your behalf. Out on third-party excesses letter. The demand letter will be followed by summons. Forward this to the insurance company required to attend court from time to time, but that is it. Number 5. Replacement of damaged or stolen motor vehicle parts such as windscreens, radio cassette and side mirrors. These are simple claims whose processes take little time. For windscreen claim, report to your insurer or your intermediary, take a photo of the damaged windscreen, fill in a claim form and send both the photo and claim form to the insurer. They will issue an LPO and send you to a dealer in their panel to have the windscreen replaced. Insurer may also ask you to replace and forward the receipts for reimbursements. For radio cassette and side mirrors, report to your insurer or your intermediary, take photos showing the damages, fill in a claim form and send both the photo and claim form to the insurer. The insurer will either ask you to replace and forward the receipts for reimbursement or issue an LPO for replacement. Important notice, the above procedures will work smoothly in cases where you have purchased the correct policy, your policy is valid, the claim is not fraudulent, and premium payment is up to date. A tip on motor accidents. Ensure that you report all accidents to your insurer regardless of whether it was major, minor or just a scratch. In these era full of ambulance chasers, you will most likely get a legal notice or an intention to sue letter in cases where you thought the third parties you hit or scratched their cars were friendly. We sure would like to learn a thing or two from your experiences. Leave us a note on the comments section below.
Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, I don't wanna jinx it, baby. Myself at the spine.
Hi there, welcome to Massive Smart Life, where we are passionate about your health, your wealth, and your family. Today, we are going to look at interesting facts about an insurance savings plan, and I'm going to explore a savings plan from one of the top insurance companies in Kenya. Your financial goals keep on changing as you progress in your life. Maybe you're planning on how to purchase a car, build a home, buy a plot, or maybe get that mortgage deposit, and you are not sure how to accumulate the funds, or you have not yet established the institution that you want to start saving your funds in. Secondly, they are perfect for people that are looking to achieve their financial goals without the burden of loans. And lastly, they are attractive to people that are looking for high interest rate of return on their savings, because insurance companies invest the funds in high interest generating financial instruments in the market, and the savings plan has higher returns than other savings plans available in the market. So how do you start a savings plan? The first step is to establish your financial goals and when you want to achieve those goals. For example, you may be looking to buy a plot of land worth maybe 1 million in a period of 5 to 6 years. After establishing your financial goals, then we are going to determine the amount of money you are going to be saving monthly. With this, you are able to make the first steps towards making your financial goals a reality and not just wishful thinking. So why is an insurance savings plan superior to other savings plans in the market? One, they have higher interest rates, and the return of savings is higher than other financial providers in the market, because the returns on savings increases as the period of savings increases. Two, you get a life insurance protection. And three, and the period of the savings plan. What happens if you are no longer able to contribute the amount you had signed up monthly due to some of the financial constraints you may experience during the savings plan? One, you can reduce the amount you are saving up to 1,000 shillings, or on the 25th month, you can ask for your savings back, or stop contributing and still get your funds on maturity plus interest. Would you like me to assist you start a savings plan? If you do, please reach me via email or via mobile. Bye-bye.
Importance of insurance in personal and business risk management. Risks are part of everyday life. Risks are defined as chance of something damaging or harmful and unexpected happening which may result in a loss either because of theft of or damage to properties, injuries, illnesses, job loss, or even death. One may not know whether these damaging, harmful events that result in losses will happen or when exactly they might happen, making it hard to prepare and plan for them. You most certainly do not know when you will fall sick, get injured, die, or when your property will get damaged or stolen, making it hard to set aside money for managing these losses as and when they happen. Further, one may not have enough disposable cash to protect from these risks. Therefore, the only sure and better way to protect oneself from the effects of these risks is by purchasing an insurance cover. What is insurance? Insurance is a means of protection from financial loss in which a person transfers the risk of suffering the said loss to another person, usually referred to as risk carrier, with a promise that in the event of such losses, the risk carrier compensates the person who suffered the loss. It is an agreement where a party guarantees another party compensation in the event of a loss, damage, or injury. It is a form of risk management, primarily used to hedge against the risk of a contingent or uncertain nature. Some risks that may directly affect individuals or businesses include loss or damage to properties, injuries, illnesses, death, and liability to third parties. However, not all risks are insurable. Insurable risks must contain certain conditions that make a risk insurable, i.e., pure risks, or those risks that embody most or all of the main elements of insurable risk. These elements are loss happening due to chance, definiteness and measurability, statistical predictability, lack of catastrophic exposure, random selection, large loss exposure. By purchasing insurance, one transfers these risks to a professional for better management and in turn is assured of compensation, thus financial safety, security, and peace of mind. Majority of insurance policies are optional, meaning one can choose whether to insure or not. Some insurance policies like motor vehicle insurance are mandatory by law, while others like travel insurance are required for compliance, such as in visa applications. In Kenya, injury insurance policies are not mandatory, but the law requires an employer to pay injured employees and therefore it makes sense to buy injury insurance for protection. All having been said, the only role of any insurance policy is to endeavor to return one back to the position they were in before the loss, also known as indemnity. The only exemption to this rule is found only on injury and life assurance policies that are commonly referred to as benefit policies. Insurance and wealth creation. To accumulate wealth over time, one needs to do just three things. 1. Make money. 2. Save money. 3. Invest money. Making money is by working either as an employee or as a business person to earn a living. Savings are from these incomes. One can make a conscious decision to save part of the earnings for the future. Investments are from these savings. From these savings that are done over a period of time, one can invest by acquiring assets such as cars, houses, land, or even building a business. After investments, there is a fourth step, which is to protect these assets against losses arising from various risks. Owning various investments such as properties or a business exposes one to a risk of loss of ownership of these investments attributable to various risks such as theft of, or damage to the properties, injuries or illness of employees, and operational liabilities. These are everyday risks that are contingent on any investment, and the way to avoid such losses is to manage the risks and protect against the losses. Protection takes various forms, however, what it implies is that one makes arrangements for the replacement of properties lost or damaged to ensure life continues as usual. One form of investment protection is insurance. Any investment means money spent to acquire or build something, and any damage to, or loss of it would also mean loss of the money spent to acquire or build it. An example is when one invests in a family house worth 10 million shillings, the maximum probable loss of this asset, either through fire or allied risks, is 10 million shillings. When a financial loss arising from damage to the building occurs, there are three scenarios that can play out. 1. Let the house remain in ruins, which will imply that one loses the house together with the financial investment that has gone into constructing or buying the house. Basically, 10 million shillings gone down the drain, and no family house anymore. 2. Assume the risk, also known as self-insurance, which means that one will have to raise 10 million shillings from savings or loan to rebuild or restore the family house. 3. Purchase an insurance cover, so that in the event of partial or total damage, one will be assured of continuing to own a house worth 10 million shillings, as the insurance company will pay the monies necessary to buy a new house, or rebuild/restore the damaged house back to its state, all these without having to deplete one's savings, or incur debt through loans to undertake such purchase, restoration or rebuilding. The same scenario applies to any other properties for which one has spent money to acquire. The above illustration shows the importance of protecting an asset. However, the expanded concept of insurance protection includes ensuring that health, income, future, savings, and investments are also protected. Therefore, it is essential that insurance becomes part of the wealth creation journey, as it will ensure that all the investments are protected against financial losses arising from the occurrence of the insured risks. What are the personal insurance covers? Personal insurance covers include but are not limited to personal accident insurance, motor vehicle insurance, homeowners or domestic package insurance, health or medical insurance, pensions, travel insurance, ordinary life and group life, last expense covers, etc. Insurance covers and businesses. Just like personal insurance, business insurance also seeks to minimize losses by compensating the business in case of a loss attributable to theft, damage, injury, or death. Whereas risks are basically the same, what differentiates business insurance from personal insurance is its operational practices. Therefore, in addition to protecting assets from theft or damage, and protecting employees from the financial effects of illnesses and injuries, there are other operational risks associated with running a business, which includes, but are not limited to, theft of cash, whether by third parties or employees, liabilities arising from injuries of either employees or members of the public, professional negligence covers, for specialized fields. In Kenya, various insurance providers have designed products meant to comprehensively protect businesses against financial losses associated with various risks. In our next videos, we will go into detail about these covers one by one, noting to mention what they are meant to cover, conditions, warranties, and why you need them.
Hello people, I hope you are well. Our channel is growing and we thank you for the support. We will continue the good work as per your comments. There are some common avoidable mistakes that people always make when purchasing motor insurance. Let us talk about them and I will tell you how to avoid them. As usual, we have a tip for you at the end of the video. Stay tuned. We talked about buying a car as an investment in my earlier videos. Today, I am going to look at the biggest mistakes you are always making when purchasing insurance cover. This is mistake number 1. Relying on other people to tell you how they will cover your car other than you designing your cover by stating how you want your car to be taken care of by insurance. To correct this, you need to tell the insurer what you want instead of letting the insurer sell you a cover which may not meet your needs. List all the services you want an insurance policy to give you. Then ask your broker or agent to look for a cover that matches your requirements. For example, when I am purchasing insurance, I want an insurance cover that will repair my car, pay me when the car is stolen or burnt, pay third parties when my car accidentally injures them or damages their property, give me courtesy car, pay for windscreen, side mirror and radio cassette when stolen, pay for my excess when the policy demands for it, and so on. The list is based on